right, we're here with Garett Hawe, who is in Newsies. So what brought you to New York, and when did you first decide you wanted to pursue acting for a career?
I kind of knew at like a really early age. My mother was a dance teacher and my sister was a dancer, so I was exposed, very early on to the arts. And my mother's friend was a choreographer, and she was choreographing a production of Oliver when I was 9, and they needed extra kids, and I decided to audition, figured why not, and was kind of hooked ever since then. And kind of theater and dance has kind of it's been the only thing I've ever really wanted to do.
And now, what was your first show, either in high school or in a community theater?
My first show was that show, Oliver.
Oh, okay.
The musical, yeah. I was played an orphan, had one line, and was hooked, right from that moment.
And now, do you feel at your most comfortable when you're dancing, when you're singing, or when you're acting?
I would say I feel most comfortable when all three come together.
Okay.
I feel like I couldn't really live, without one of them. That's why I do musical theater. But I feel like I wouldn't want to just be a dancer or just do TV and film, or just be a singer. I feel like musical theater, it culminates all three, and I think that's why I love it.
Now, when did you decide to come to New York from your native New Hampshire?
I grew up in New Hampshire, and then went to college in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the Cincinnati Conservatory of Music, and it was kind of the natural progression. Everyone kind of just comes to New York and do a showcase at the end of our senior year for agents and managers. So I kind of just followed that trend, with everyone, and I knew I wanted to do musical theater, and New York is, kind of the center of that, so I felt like it was the right place to go.
And what was your first show when you came to New York?
First show when I came to New York, I went on tour and did a production of The 101 Dalmatians.
Okay.
And then I went into the national tour of Mary Poppins, and then into the Broadway production of Mary Poppins after that.
And now, what was it like coming to New York and then going right out on tour? Was that something you were prepared for, or?
It was. I mean, I just wanted a job when I got here, so I was lucky enough to get, a new show, which was exciting, and it was, a good paycheck and a great creative team, so I was apprehensive to leave the city having just gotten here, but it was definitely, a great experience and a great job, so I was excited about it.
You said you went from the tour of Mary Poppins to the Broadway version of Mary Poppins. What were the main differences, and did you like one more than the other in terms of being settled into the city, or do you like traveling around the country more?
I do love traveling around. It was, such a great way to see the country and, get paid doing it,
Right.
And on the other hand, being my Broadway debut was so exciting in itself.
Absolutely.
And finally getting to be in New York, having been on tour for such a long time, was also very rewarding and satisfying. And finally getting to stay in one spot was really nice. But I loved both experiences so much.
And now, after Mary Poppins, did you start with Newsies at Paper Mill?
I did, yeah. I took a leave of absence. Disney was so great. Gave both myself and Andrew Bolger, we were both doing Mary Poppins together. We did leave of absences and did Newsies at Paper Mill, and then went back into Mary Poppins once Paper Mill was over. And then we heard that Newsies was coming, and then we both, walked across the street, joined Newsies after.
Yeah, you can't get lost, right?
No, definitely not.
Now, are you in the same track as you were at Paper Mill?
I was, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And now, what are the main differences in doing the show at the Nederlander versus Paper Mill?
Physically, in those venues, the Nederlander is a lot smaller than Paper Mill. Paper Mill has a really long theater, and at the Nederlander, the audience is so much closer. You can really see everyone's reactions. The audience, you can really feel their presence, which is, obviously so much more rewarding. And just to see everyone's face light up at the end of one of our numbers is just like so cool to see every night.
And especially with Newsies, it's such a show that gets a reaction.
Absolutely.
You guys put a lot of heart into it.
Definitely.
And the dance numbers are very eye-catching.
Exactly.
And jaw-dropping when you're watching them.
Yeah.
What
you
is
literally
that?
see their jaws drop.
Oh, absolutely. And what has it been like with all, I know you've done a lot of promotion for the show, and what do you do to keep yourself from getting burned out? Is there a certain thing that you do to take care of yourself?
Sleep.
Yeah.
A lot of sleep.
Yeah.
I like to get massages. I like to I like to just go to the movies, like do just really chill things. I do go to the gym, but I try to conserve as much energy as I can when I'm not at the show, so that I have the energy for the show. You know, so I just try to do a lot of laid back activities when I'm not, you know, at the theater.
Now Newsies is now open-ended. There is no, which is exciting.
Yeah.
What were your plans before you knew that? Did you have plans to go to something else and you had to change them, or were you just waiting to see?
I haven't had any future plans besides Newsies. I mean, you know, kind of the life of an actor is always, you know, you never really know what might be the next thing, you know, so I think a lot of us had hoped that the show would be successful enough, you know, to have an open-ended run, and luckily that has happened, you know, so Newsies has kind of been my focus for now.
Great. And what advice would you give to people who are just starting out in the acting world? You started out going on tour, and you know, you're here now in a very successful show, so you're getting offers to do publicity and television and interviews. So what advice would you give to people?
I would say, first of all, the thing I always say is, if there's something else you can do besides theater, if there's something else you can see yourself doing, do it, because this is such a hard, grueling profession. If this is the only thing you can see yourself do, then do it. If you believe in your talent enough and work hard enough, you definitely can achieve your goals and dreams. I always say, be nice to everyone you work with. You never know who you're going to work with, and word of mouth, you know, you want to have like a good reputation, and just, you know, love what you do. And I think if you love what you do, like you'll be good at it, and you'll achieve whatever dreams you have.
And what's one of the coolest things that's happened to you since being in the show?
I think, that's a good question. I think the coolest thing for me has been just working with all these different incredibly gifted performers, this huge group of male performers. I've never done a show that's had that energy before, and it's just, we're all kind of inspiring each other and trying to, a little competitiveness, you know, but in a good way, you know. There's such a camaraderie that you see on stage. It's what you see, it's what we have off stage, and it's been such a unique and special process. We all just are so grateful and love our job so much.
Now, had you performed with Mary Poppins on a Tony's telecast, or was your performance?
I was a replacement, so I wasn't in the original version.
Okay, so this was your first Tony's telecast.
Yeah, that's, you know, has been another awesome, amazing part, is being a part of this original thing, getting to do all of those things, the cast album, the Tony Awards, opening night, you know, all those things that come with it. It's so exciting and satisfying.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Thank you.